Okay, this I saw on Instagram today, and it talks about how you should soak your mums in a bucket of water for an hour to make them all last longer and to make them last all season long. So I'm so glad that I saw that today, because Ben Grandin with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension office is here to answer all your questions about gardening and things of that nature. So Ben, I sent this to you today. Do we need to do this?
So I think the big thing that this video is talking about is proper watering. With mums, they are in a soilless media, so the water holding capacity of that container isn't as great as it could be, leading to a lot of times the plant dries out, we have to add extra water. Soaking it in this manner might help increase that water holding capacity of getting water into that container. It's probably not my favorite way of doing it. I would much rather just water from the top and sort of feel the container to feel the weight to know how much water I need to add. But really, I think that's more of a getting that plant fully hydrated so that it can withstand the brutal, 90, 95 degrees summer temperatures.
Which we have, and mums are already out and people are already gotten them
Mhm.
on their lawns. Okay. This person's asking the question, can I plant some of those fall crops that you talked about in a planter instead of in the ground?
I love container gardening. All those crops you can put in containers, anywhere that you have access to put plants, the plants will be fine there. You might have a little bit more cold damage in a container rather than the ground, but I think that's better than not having any plants at all.
Okay. And is there any way to stop that cold damage or anything like that?
On colder nights, we can put a tarp or a blanket over it to try to give it a few degrees. If we get down to 8 degrees, there's not much we can do about it, but we can definitely give it 4 or 5 degrees from that freezing point.
From that tarp. Okay. The next question is, when is the best time to prune your trees?
Well, pruning trees really depends on the type of tree itself. Typically, I like to do a lot of winter pruning with our larger ornamental trees. Obviously, all our fruit trees we do prune during the winter time, but that's really specific on that particular plant.
So maybe Google that actual plant, that actual tree, and figure out when that best time is.
Exactly. If we plant things or if we prune things improperly this time of year, sometimes we accidentally make the plant start growing right before that first frost around Halloween, and that can cause some damage. So definitely know what you're supposed to be doing to that plant before you start getting at it.
Right. It's not a one size fits all kind of thing. That's good to know. Okay.
Exactly.
This person's asking about pond care and if the Ag Extension Office helps with pond care.
Yes, we do a lot of pond care. My main specialty as far as ponds is weed identification and any kind of weed control measures for that. We have a lot of good ponds around here, mainly from old farming operations, but a lot of them are used as fishing ponds and swimming ponds as well. So we definitely offer any kind of help we can towards that remediation and keeping it healthy aspect.
Okay. Somebody wants to know about, do you recommend growing plants in a cold frame? And for those of us who don't even know what a cold frame is, which is me, what is it?
Right, a cold frame is a small structure, basically like a small little greenhouse that you put right over the bed. It's typically pretty small and it adds about 5 or 6 degrees during those cold times. Certain crops, if you want to keep them actively growing throughout the winter, you can use a cold frame. Just watch out on those really sunny days because it can go from being really cold at night to 90, 100 degrees under that cold frame during the day.
Oh, okay. This person says, I have a few potted plants that are infested with these little small black ants. How can I get rid of them without harming the plants?
A lot of plants, little black ants typically aren't super harmful to those plants. A lot of times they're actually moving aphids around because they sort of farm those aphids around the plants. I don't like to freak out when I see ants on plants. If they are getting in the house, that's when you want to take more of a chemical remediation topic to it. Or if you're seeing actual damage on that plant, that's when you get something labeled for that plant.